Hello, I'm Philip Cargom. Welcome to Tea with Philip. Actually, I'm not Philip Cargom at all, am I? I am Dave. Philip is away travelling. Hello, joined. Oh, people are joining. This is fantastic. Hello, everybody. Philip is away travelling at the moment, so I've said I'd step into his shoes and run this evening's Tea with Philip. But it's not Tea with Philip. I love all those lovely little things. Oh, that's so nice. That's not nice. Now, oh, hello. Good. I can see your messages. Hello there. All these lovely little hearts. Oh, hello, everybody. So I'm doing Tea with Philip tonight, except it's not Tea with Philip. It is Coffee with Dave. Cheers, everybody. Nice vanilla latte, I think I've got here. So, look at all these people. Oh my God, I'm going to have to put these on. Excuse me. Hello, I'm Damh the Bard. Coffee. Hello from Michigan. Hello, everyone. Portugal, Italy. This is incredible. Vienna. Oh, Canada. It's not a bad mug. I tell you where I got this. I got this at the Celts exhibition at the British Museum. It's rather tasty, isn't it? I've got to say. Yeah. So some of you may be wondering what's going on. I have said it before, but less of you are online now. I've got quite a few online now. So Philip is traveling, and so he has asked me to do this week's Tea with Philip, but it's Coffee with Dave. So looking at everybody gathering here, this is fantastic. Wow. Worthing, there we are, someone local, that's awesome. Argentina, fantastic. Staten Island, yes. Oh, hello, Marina. I haven't done many of these. I did this once before when I launched my Mabinogi album live, and I thought, wouldn't it be a brilliant idea to launch it live? So I pressed the live button on my phone, and I said, I've got an amazing thing happening. Some of you might have even been there. I went to launch the album, and it didn't work. So this is my previous experience of live Facebook hasn't been amazing. So anyway, 100. This is fantastic. Well, welcome everybody. So we're all around the world here, and what Philip normally does, and what I think is a great idea, is if we just tune in with each other wherever we are, everywhere from Worthing right the way to Staten Island, New York, to Argentina, Canada, Nebraska, all over the place. Just become aware of all of you people watching in and tuning into this. And maybe the first thing we can do is to take some breaths together. Take some breaths together. We do this up the hill at the Long Man of Wilmington. And so I know some of you only just tuned in. You might be rushing around with a cup of tea. I wish I could see you all as well. That would be awesome. Am I coming through loud and clear? That's what I would like to ask. Yes? Is it okay? Is the internet connection all right? Have I gone all psychedelic like I sometimes see Philip's video happening? Hello? All looks good. All looks good. Oh, wow. Loud and clear. Wow, there's loads. Right, brilliant. Because what I'd like to do later, I've got my guitar here. I'm going to play you a song or two later. Live. And sometimes I know that can be a little dodgy. So there we are. So let's take some breaths before we start. And so imagine reaching out around the earth with your hands. Imagine reaching out, holding on to the hands of somebody in a completely different country on another piece of rock sticking out from whatever sea that you're upon. Imagine us all holding hands around the world right now. And when you've got that sensation, let's take a long, slow breath together with the earth beneath our feet. And a long, slow breath with the sky above us. And a long, slow breath with the seas and rivers that either surround where you live or run through the land upon which you sit or stand, wherever you are in the world. Spirits of this circle, spirits of the earth, ancestors and guides of the order of Bards, Ovates and Druids. We ask for your blessings, your guidance, and your inspiration on this time spent together. May there be peace in the north. May there be peace in the south. May there be peace in the west. May there be peace in the east. May there be peace throughout the whole world. Something that you might want to see as well, that I have here. Twice a year in Glastonbury, in the town hall, I unsheath the sword of the order. I have the order sword here with me in my house, and I wondered if some of you might like to see it. So I'll just go and grab it. This is the order's sword. It was passed to me by Will Worthington, and it's got a beautiful leather baldric, I think it's called. And in Glastonbury, I just draw it slightly. Say, behold this, our order's sword, drawn from the lake of still meditation, and return to it again, ever sharp and ever with us, should our lake be stilled. So there you go, that's the order sword. So how about if you are a listener to Druidcast, or if you've heard my music or anything like that, why not throw me a question if you want? I'll try and answer anything you say. Look at all of you people commenting and everything. It's amazing. So if you've got a question about the order, about how I feel about Druidry, because don't forget, this is, my magnificent sword, it is. Cheers from Michigan. I am the Lady of the Lake. Beautiful sword. Have you always such a great voice, Rebecca? That's an interesting one. I'll be quite honest here. When I was at school, my music teacher did something to me that made me very self-conscious of my voice for years and years and years. Me and a friend were putting on a little performance. I guess it must have been about 12, something like that. and we were performing this thing to the school. I was playing guitar and singing, and Mark, my friend, was singing with me. And we performed our piece, and in front of the head of music, Mr. Treble. That always makes me laugh a little bit. Mr. Treble was the head of music, and Mr. Evans the Tune, we used to call him. And after the performance, he rushed up to Mark and shook his hand, and he said, "Well done, Mark. That was beautifully sung. Beautiful, beautiful." And I said, "And how about me? Did I do well?" And he said, "Dave, anybody can sing through their nose," and walked off. And it's amazing the power that teachers have in our lives, isn't it? Because this was an adult. This was someone that I looked up to, and I remember that absolutely here and now like it was yesterday. And so for years and years and years, I found it very hard to listen to my voice singing. And it was only probably in 2008 when I launched and released The Cauldron Born that I exorcised Mr. Treble from my memory, you know. And I accepted my voice for what it is. It's not perfect. It's a voice, and I no longer disliked it. But it took a long time. I mean, 2008, right away, probably from 1980. 1970 something. 1970 something. So there you go. So yes, I don't know if I've always had a good voice, because in my opinion, I didn't like it for many, many years, but there we go. So, but he's gone now anyway. Would love to hear you play. Are you a songwriter too? You are very welcome here, because you have obviously not heard my music, so hopefully you'll like it. There's an independent program. You inspired me to play music. Wow. How did you begin my path? That's a good question. My introduction to all of this was probably magic. I was a typical teenager. My room was black. My duvet was black. My pillows were black. I wore black. I never pulled the black look off like a proper goth, though, because I had blonde hair. So I just ended up looking like a pint of Guinness with like a black bit and the white bit on the top, you know. But I had that kind of, teenage attitude. And one of the things I looked for, like probably many teenage witches back in the day of Buffy and all that kind of stuff, was magic. I really did look for magic. I was born in Cornwall, way down in the southwest peninsula of the United Kingdom, place full of magic. And stone circles, fugus, legends of King Arthur. I mean, Tintagel, Boscastle, the place is a magical place. So my route into this was magic. It was magic at first, and it was through magic that I found the spiritual side of things within Druidry. And to me now, magic and Druidry are absolutely one and the same. That you can't separate the two, in my opinion. So there you go. So it was really through magic. I was a ceremonial magician for many years in a hermetic magic lodge, and I found myself, if I'm honest, yearning for something with a little bit more earth in it. The hermetic magic and the ceremonial magic was very highbrow, very, ooh. And what I wanted was something more down there, down in the earth. And so I looked at Wicca, I looked at the craft, I looked at the Norse traditions and things like that. And then I sent off a stamp. I mean, the internet wasn't around at the time. I saw a little advert in a magazine called Prediction. And it said, interested in green spirituality? Well, if you are, you might be interested in the work of the Druids. And I just thought, Druids, well, I'll send off for it. But, blokes at Stonehenge, white wellies, all that stuff, I didn't really think they existed. And then it came through, and it was the OBOD introductory leaflet. And as I read it, like many of you, I'm sure, it felt like I'd come home. It felt like I was reading words that I could have written myself, that were from my very soul. And so I sent off for the OBOD course, and the rest, well, that's it. History, there we go. Antlered Crown and Standing Stone, the most spirit-filled song I've ever heard. Well, you'll hear it in a minute. I'm going to play that one for you, I think, if that's all right with you. So, do you want to? Let's have a song. Let's have a song. You all right? I hope the internet connection is okay. It can be dodgy, can't it? Really, with but anyway, this is for you. I am the face within the leaves. I'm the voice within the trees. I am boy, I am man, the face of the changing land. I have been your constant guide, from your caves on the mountainside. We have walked hand in hand, and everywhere that I have been, my passing turns the grey to green. The birds sing to the dawn, and the land has awoken. Oh, my lady lays with me, and our love weaves a tapestry, eternal threads unbroken. I am lover, I am father, I am horned god and king. I'm the life in all of nature that is reborn every spring, called of stag and cry of eagle. I am child of barleycorn, and I am the antlered crown and standing stone. I am the oats, the corn and grain, a bearded man with a crooked cane. Cut me down, I must die, for the land to be born again. Don't you cry and don't you grieve, for soon the wild hunt I will lead on the night of Samhain. I am lover, I am father, I am horned god and king. I'm the life in all of nature that is reborn every spring, called of stag and cry of eagle. I'm a child of barleycorn, and I am the antlered crown standing stone. The air is cold, the sky is grey. Where am I this winter's day? Bones of trees, fallen leaves, the time of the winter queen, a through the wind and snow and rain, know that a part of me remains. Holly stands evergreen. Don't sing with me, anyone. I am lover, I am father, I am horned god and king. I'm the life in all of nature that is reborn every spring, full of stag and pride eagle. I'm child of Bardicorn, and I am the antlered crown, and standing stone, standing stone. I've got a bit of a sore throat. Hope that was all right. I'm going to have some coffee with Dave now. Cheers, everybody. Cheers. So let's have another question. If you want to ask another question, by all means. Do you like that? I am the antlered crown and standing stone. You may have noticed, okay, the Order of Bards, Ovates and Druids has a wide group of people with very, very different beliefs, very different feelings, very different ways of looking at the world. As you know, there are pagan druids, there are Christian druids from OBOD and stuff like that. Me, you know, my heart is within paganism, and so so that's where I bring my druidry from, is from the old myths of Albion and the land and the stories and things like that. And when I first came to the pagan druid path, if you like, I was still kind of interested in Wicca and the craft and stuff like that. And I went to a Wiccan camp, first Wiccan camp I ever went to. And yeah, I heard everyone joining too, all around the world. I bet that would have been amazing. I would have loved to have been with you in all of your rooms, in anything, you know, as well as being on your screen. So I went to the fireside, and I sat there by the fire, and I heard these chants. We all come from the goddess. Lady, spin your circle bright, it's beautiful, under the stars. I mean, it's just wonderful, wonderful. And it was a 7-day camp. And the next night, went back to the campfire. I sat there and I heard these chants. We all come from the goddess. Lady, spin your circle bright. All that. This is wonderful. Wednesday came along, went to the campfire, sang these chants. We all come from the goddess. Lady, spin your circle bright. And by Thursday, I have to say, I was thinking to myself, we really need some songs. You know, the chants are wonderful, but we need some kind of community songs that we can share. And I didn't know about Gwydion Pendragon at the time, one of your great bards in America. I'd never heard of his stuff. But there was Silver on the Tree were around at the time. There was a band called Heathens All that were around on the time. But other than that, there wasn't this overtly kind of pagan bardic music. Well, if it isn't there, I'll write it. And that's all it was. That was all this stuff came from. But what I also noticed was quite a lack of songs about, quite a lot of songs. There wasn't much about him. There wasn't much. There weren't many chants. There just wasn't a lot. It was like in the mythology that was around at the time, he turned up, met at Beltane, got cut down at Lunacy and went back to the other world. And that was pretty much all it was. And I thought, you know what? He he needs some loving too. So you will find a lot of my songs, Antler Crown and Standing Stone, are addressing like the male principle, the kind of sacred male, because it does need nurturing as well. It does. So that's it. Green and Grey, Antler Crown and Standing Stone, New and the Solstice. That's where these things come from. Yes, he's my man too. Absolutely. Yes, the American singer, it was Gwydion Penderyn was his name, and he unfortunately passed away in a car accident in the 80s, I think it was. But if you have a song, if you have my Cauldron Born album, in honor of Gwydion, I covered one of his songs, and some of you may not know it's one of his songs, because in this age of digital stuff where people don't have sleeve notes and stuff like that, you may assume it's one of my songs. But Luna's a Dance on the Cauldron Born is a cover of a song written by Gwydion Penderyn in honor of him, and I couldn't find out where to send the royalty money, but I found that he has a commune, I think it's called Anun or Anuvan in the States, and one of his wives was there, so I sent her the money that would have gone to Gwydion for the use of his song. So there we go. Gwydion Penderyn, he was amazing. He paved the way for Gwydion's Lord of the Dance. He paved the way for many of us modern bards, and wow, if my songs are being sung in 30 years time or whatever around campfires like his is, I will be a very, very, very happy bard and feel like I've left something behind. So one more question. I've probably been on here longer than Philip, I think is normally on. It says 27 minutes. How about one more question? Do you have another question? That is fantastic. Green and Burning Tree Songbook. Keep strumming. Keep strumming. Play those songs. No, don't go. Hello, Reg. Hello. We meet down at Glastonbury. We aren't watching the time. You really? Do you want another song then? One more song and then I'll have to go. Okay, here we go. Let's have a go. Okay. Now, I don't know if you've had this problem, but I've felt ill all year. I've had throat problems and stuff like that. So I'll do my best for you. The show must go on, right? You are the rock, and you are the stone. Rivers your blood, mountains your bone. You are the source of all I'll ever know. Forever my mother, forever my home. Oh, this town is so cold. Neon magicians, they offer the fools their gold. For there is somewhere I'd rather be, in your wild places with the land and the sky and the sea. Every step follows those gone before, mystics and saints, down to the shore, echoing waves, and the curlews cry, I call out your name, I hear your reply. I hear your reply, come on, sing with me. Oh, this town is so cold. Neon magicians, they offer the fools their gold. For there is somewhere I'd rather be, places with the land and the sky and the sea. Cynical thoughts and lies that distort all that is true, all that is true. They disappear when I feel that you're near, when I'm with you, when I'm with you. Oh, this town is so cold. Neon magicians, they offer the fools their gold. There is somewhere I'd rather be, in your wild places with the land and the sky and the sea. Now I know some of us have only just met, but it would be amazing to think of all of you lot all around the world in your rooms singing along to this tune. So let's just do it, shall we? You ready? Na 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 na, 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 na na they offer the fools their gold. For there is somewhere I'd rather be, in your wild places with the land and the sky, in your wild places with the land and the sky, in your wild places with the land and the sky and the sea. Thank you very much, everybody. From my little studio here to you all around the world. That was Coffee with Dave. Cheers. Normal service will be resumed next week. You never know. I might hop in again one day and do another Coffee with Dave. So, blessed be everybody. I'll see you again along the road. From me here. Bye-bye. More Coffee with Dave. I don't want to go, to be honest with you. This is such fun. But I really have got to. So, bye. Bye.